All right, live right on time. 222. Um, I'll explain some of the significance of that later. Um, Now, this is my big problem, and I guess it's a good problem to have. Um, and by the way, just in case any of you guys are wondering, I've been doing my thing on my phone, which makes it a lot easier to, like you guys saw when I dropped that story. It made it a lot easier to interfere on it, right? And we found out the truth about Sierra Tango 6 and Bravo Lima, and just think phonetically, and you'll figure that one out. You know, the city, and the embassy, and all that. But anyways, so it makes it um, easier to do things like that. However, this is something I was told to do because they are coming after us on all angles. I'm pretty, I'm pretty open on Twitter. On Twitter, you know, I got my face on there sometimes. I got everything. But as far as on here, I've been trying to keep my face off of the screen. Um, you know, I was under the impression my channel's coming down, and I still have that feeling. Um, but until that happens, I'm gonna keep bringing the latest breaking stuff. Some amazing information coming out. We are in that October surprise period where, oh, I have so much for you guys. It's ridiculous. Oh, I just have so much. All right. All right. So I wish there was more people here, though. All right, guys. So I'm gonna need you guys to help me share this. That when I started reading this, it had just came out. It just came out today, a couple hours ago. So I wanted to read it and see what I was getting into, and I was also in the middle of um, literally working on like four shows at once. I tend to do that, but it wasn't lost on Paul Revere number 17. 17 there, because that's why I put the thumbnail that I did. It said, they're having all this trouble. The panic in DC. The Guardians of the Galaxy, the Guardians of the Pedos, and then of course, Pfizergate, which most know as Obamagate, and then there's a fourth that I've been working on as well. Well, I guess this would fall under that. You would see this in that number four movie, Guardians of the Pedo. So, which in many cases are the elite. The ones that I've been seeing getting arrested are like, the sickos who will get them. I've heard so many firsthand accounts. Even just like talking to girls at these certain places, these like centers, and like just asking them, like, how did you end up in that position? And it's like, I heard this guy say, like, do you want her? How's she gonna? How's she? What about her? And then like someone was like online, like, yeah. He must have had like the video on her. I've heard that same situation about 3 different times now. And I don't think it's a story that just gets around, because this wasn't the type of girl who had internet, who had anything. So no. And this is someone like in person. And then I heard the same story on the internet twice. So it's just very odd. Anyway, so this is something I think I can say we all take very serious. If you guys remember back when, do you guys remember I mean, this channel has done some amazing things. I'm very proud of what this channel's done. Like, what we just saw. If you've been with this channel for a while, then you know, you what you just saw is very, very. Yeah, there was no way. Imagine him and. Oh wow. So yeah. See, and I'm not ever scared to say I'm wrong. There's some people. I was like, you know what, that shooter. There's a little more to that shooting than meets the eye, and he was sprayed with VMAs. And by the way, he was private security. Um, but we're gonna get right to it. What's going on? What's going on? Epstein. I put on Epstein, right? It's like making it so I can't see my own stuff. I don't understand. But anyways, you would have seen a million of these with this channel where we go over these same exact. I mean, just looking back at all these videos, all this work, I hope that we've made a difference. Okay, I'm talking like we're gonna be gone, but you never know. You know, with what's going on right now. Twitter was down. So the significance of the 15th came to fruition. That was crazy. Like you know something that it's going to happen on the 14th or 15th. We couldn't figure out which it would be. I was kind of leaning the 15th, which it ended up being, just based on decodes, which has something to do with that 222 I mentioned at the beginning. But yeah, further, this people forget about this family in Mexico, a bunch of women and children. Nobody had the information, but I knew, and I told everyone. I said, "Listen, guys, there's still two females, young, like teenage females, alive." And people, I remember people like making fun of the channel, and you know, he talks about a tragedy and just goes out there and says that two is still alive. People trying to talk bad about me and this channel. Well, what do you know? 2 days later, they announced a rescue operation by the Navy SEALs, rescues two teenage aged females. They rescued them, and the guy who took them, they kidnapped them, had, I forget how many empty clips. Like, he basically did most of the shooting. They set one of the families on fire. I don't even want to get into it, but it's just crazy. But one of my favorite videos we ever did was the Epstein stuff. I mean, those were, we stayed up night after night, for those who remember being with us. Oh, man. Should come right up. Sorry about this. I just wanted to show you guys how deep into this we've gone. Oh, here's one. So here's him indicted, and he was indicted right after we did the video. Right after we did that video.
That way, just doing those 13 cushy months, we could go to work. Oh, that's so good. Law enforcement sources told CNN on Saturday.
So that's when he was indicted. You know, that's way before. We nailed him, but before he was even indicted is when we had like really good stuff. We had the real like unbelievable stuff we had on him. Interesting. Was it just gone? I mean, that was one of the biggest videos we've done. It was just a huge video because so many people, we would have, no one really had the black book at the time. Nobody had we had the whole black book. We had the flight logs, which we went through each and every name. And that was definitely took some time. That was crazy. All right, we're gonna get started on this. This is just kind of bugging me because in my head I was like, oh, I could kind of look back on, just at least kind of show. All right, these are uploads, so live. Here's one video I got wrong. Oh, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's the only reason. By the way, number 17 there, he's been going off the hook. Off the hook. It's alright. That's he's indicted, so it would be before that. It was before he was indicted. Alert, alert, alert. So before he was indicted. What did they take this video down? Did they take this friggin' video down? Because yeah, this is like when I first started. They took this video down. I can't believe it. Maybe if I do it from here. Yeah, I do flight logs. Oh, here we go. All right, here they are. I don't know how I didn't see some of that. So yeah, you see here, part 1, part 2, a combined 9.5 hours with another 3 hours plus. So you got the 9.5 hours there plus the indictment was like a half hour. It's 10 hours. Just 9.5 before he was indicted. I mean, some of this stuff here. Oh man, it's really amazing what we went into.
First initial A, we'll take note of the last name, and we'll see, AW. All right, then we know. Yeah. But if
so, I don't know if we're doing the.
it's bullshit, and they had certain interests that matched and all that. Now, if there's people that come up and they're not on this list, that might be the case.
No,
but there's a reason.
Which ended up being the case. There ended up being a bunch of people that we got that if you looked anywhere on Twitter or anywhere on the internet, it just said unintelligible. Because, I mean, it would take us sometimes like 25 minutes to crack a name. I don't know if any of you guys were around then. So anyways, we're going to be going through something very similar. We're going to be going through it. Has we're starting to get used to these. So what we have here, Exhibit 6, United. So this is, by the way, so far everything that's happened. Brandon, there's so much, and also I haven't made the changes, but basically like I'm gonna have like the 5 main mods and then also some other mods, but there's gonna be 5 main mods that kind of have like seniority. If in the rarer case, which basically never happens, they have the go ahead to do whatever they want. And so do the other ones. It's just if there's ever like a situation where it's like, well, should we or shouldn't we, or how should we handle this? Because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of disinformation agents. We had a disinformation agent in here one night. So, Alex, AJ, one of his disinformation agents, he's like, she's sitting there like, I don't know, I was thinking about making a channel and going on and on about everything but what I was talking about. One of the most important videos I've done in a while. And she's yapping on about, anyone can get off subject. That's fine. I don't want to sound like that. But literally, this person, nobody else could even talk because it's just her talking about nonsense. And people, we tend to be polite here. I blow up from here to there. Which, by the way, let me get my blow up out of the way. Last night, Adam, you know what, dude? I try so hard to be nice to you sometimes because I feel like a bad Christian when I'm not. But you continue to just like lie to your audience. Stop that. Ugh. Because he had heard, probably definitely heard me. I mean, what a coincidence. He doesn't bring it up for 2 years and then brings it up a week after I bring it up. That, when it comes to 17, you and your wife used to follow it all the time. And I don't have a bad thing to say about your beautiful wife or beautiful children. Just you. I'm not your dog, Snaps. And you sit there and you like stop making excuses like, yeah, well, I've been following it the whole time, and yeah, I've been following that letter the whole time, but I stopped following it, not because of money, because a bunch of them went on to make money. No, that's not the case. A bunch of them that were very good at what they did went on to make money. Like you named somebody, Justin Statham. I don't know. I don't watch him. I don't watch like the ones who are in it for the money. Nobody does. The only one I watch that might make a few bucks just because he's so good is In Pursuit of Truth. That's the only one. So I don't know what you're talking about. What you do is being in it for the money. That's like, cashing in the chips, aka your soul on the Internet of Things. Just what you said, starting that last night. I couldn't even watch it. You claimed to have all this great information. I refused to. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. The title was real hyped up. You had mentioned this, except this wasn't released until today. So I don't know what you were going to say about this. Maybe you knew it was going to be released soon. Ooh. Sounds like you're reading the same letter as I am. It's just some of the other stuff you were saying, man. It's weak. It's weak. So basically, it makes you look worse. So basically, you got into it for money and you got out of it to avoid looking like someone who was in it for money and pursued money in every other possible way you could. I mean, the fact that you're a supposed truther in this day and age, they're in the House right now, not right now, but last week voting about this type of stuff. And not just that letter, about all. Even if you don't believe, I know that you believe in it. You just don't want to share that information with your subscribers because it's too dangerous for your precious channel. It makes me sick. I hold my channel in high regard as well. But whenever I all of a sudden put my channel above my viewers, now if I learn a tactic from somebody, especially like a source, someone I trust, I'm gonna use that tactic. But to the point of not giving the information at all, and them all being surprised that you ever even followed it, wow, maybe they need to look at your old videos. All right, you're a sellout. You always have been. That's the part that makes it really hard to just be kind to you. Yeah, I want to be kind to you. I came in one of your shows. I gave you, a good amount. I gave you a good amount of money in super chat. But that's how you can tell someone's been so just flooded with money. They don't even appreciate it. Didn't even read the super chat. Didn't even read it. You're supposed to read the super chat. Not one bad thing said. Didn't even read it. So, but about 2 days later, he felt stupid. He didn't read it. I'll tell you that. I know he did. he felt real stupid. He didn't read that one. Because I know it was probably in the back of his head because it came from me and he knows I have good sources and actual sources. I mean, I hope there's more hope to life. I mean, this is basically his his sources that have pictures with all the presidents, every one of the last presidents except for Trump or something like that. It's like, you're proud of that? Do you know what each and every one of those presidents have done to this country? That's why we're in the position we're in. I don't want to be too proud of that, first of all. Second of all, where's all this information? It's always, if I could, oh man, only if I could tell you guys. I would think up 1,001 ways of telling you guys if there was something that you guys needed to know. I would every video write a letter, write the letter L. Let's say I'm trying to say like, let's just say I'm trying to spell out comet, asteroid. Write the letter A. Show the letter A, put it down. Next video, S, right? There's ways of doing things. As long as everyone gets it. And then you say it, talk about it in a generic way, like, every video adds a piece, and then hold up that letter again. And then every you hold up a letter every video, and then there's a message. Get creative. But I think that your sources are shit. That's why I'm the one always nailing the stories, always knowing way ahead of time what's going to happen, not selling my soul. And, not, I hate to, talk about someone's religion, but I don't know, man. I don't seem like much of a Christian right now, so I can see, I don't really want to go there because I can get real nasty. But then again, I got hot blood too, and I was just raised different than people in the Pacific Northwest, and I have to understand that. But at the same time, I smell something. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, Drop, and Drop is about as intelligent as they come. But you know what? Drop ended up being another one of those that are just in it for themselves, and they just, I don't know. He just like, he one day he decided that he's like, I'm not into this stuff. He's always over there still. He's over on his chat all the time, which is fine. I don't care if people watch all the people I can't stand. That's fine. Go there. Go watch them. I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. As long as you're getting the information here and actually giving it. If you've been watching me a fair amount of time, you know that I'm giving you on. You can depend on me to give you legit information that's gonna go somewhere. So for subs. Well, I pay for subs too. I mean, dude, who doesn't like a steak and cheese here and there? Sig. I don't care what he eats. I'm just kidding. I know, I can see it in his eyes. I'm not Nick the new guy. I can see it in his eyes. Always could. Oh, you mean subscribers? Oh, I thought you meant. See, when I see that word subs up here in Boston, I mean subboxing. I don't know if you ever heard of that. But oh yeah. Once you get to like a certain level, big time, and then they censor them. Go in there and try to say something that the dear leader isn't saying. Like, try to go against the grain. You can go against me all you want. Now, if you're drunk and belligerent, that's a different story. If you're spamming the chat, which is a very old tactic that's effective in taking away from the message that's being conveyed. You know, that's an old school tactic. Just write a bunch of BS and whatever. The only person who it looks like he's doing it, but he's not. Trust me, he's not. He's that wicked smart kid who comes in here and he basically like debriefs on the channel. And a lot of it though, once he gets a debrief out, but then he like kind of goes along with the subject. He's just a wealth of information. Brian something. But yeah, if it's ever him that's doing it, trust me, he's not doing it for the wrong reason. He's doing it for the good reasons. He's a good guy. I like that guy a lot, and he's very very intelligent. He brings a lot to this channel. I think at some point I made him a sub, just to show the appreciation. But anyways, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the subs. I was like, what? I was like, oh. But yeah, anyway, so I don't want to be too negative, but he starts out to show us something about how, yeah, I'm used to make videos about Q, and it wasn't I didn't want to be one of those guys who went in and, you know, and with the, tried to cash in on the cash cow. It's like, what are you talking about? You're the definition of cashing in. What are you talking about? The guys, you either got to be good, bring something different to the table, or they kind of get you in your crosshairs where you're protected. I'm almost 100% sure I'm protected. Because Patriots are in control in the end. And I'm smart about what I say. I don't like give them every reason in the world to take me off. Um, you know, but then again, I don't censor myself to the point where I'm speaking a different language, unless it's like that the two videos I did about the whole thing with Ryan. I actually used that. I said that instead of that, and Bravo Lima, and you guys know that whole story. We did 2 shows on it. I mean, how crazy is that? The more you think about it, that our government did that. Anyways, let's get to now, and hopefully our government's doing the wrong thing. Anyways, just so you guys know, I can give you, so like I said, I didn't get into the whole, I couldn't watch it. After hearing him say that, I almost threw up and just I watched some TV show instead. Um, and then I went on and watched Agent 19. Anyways, okay, then so what he said basically is that Trump will win, and the day after we get hit by a meteor and all die. That's his source, and that's his information. Just so you know. What is it? Wow, I got something. I know it might be one of the things. It might intersect with one of the things I'll drop. Oh yeah. Thank you. I'd appreciate that. Yes, I will check my email. Definitely, 100%. Comment with my email. The only thing is, see, I could say it. It's very easy. There's 2. I'm gonna stop putting them in the description. I just gotta make a generic description and just remember to copy and paste. I'm always a rush to get online. I wanted to come on at 222, and you guys will see why. I'm gonna be able to get to that. Like I said, I'm working on 4 or 5 things at once, but then all of a sudden, boom, this dropped, and it's been all I've been working on. But it would be the Red Pill News at yahoo.com or the Red Pill News at proton.mail. So proton.mail or yahoo.com. But both of them are the Red Pill News. And I'll make sure to put that in my thing. All right. So that's my email. Okay, so, all right, so here we go. Let's get into this. Exhibit 6. United States District Court, that famous court. This is where all the big cases come out of. SDNY, the Southern District of New York. And this is just one of the victims. Virginia Guffrey, that's a fake name, I assume. I think they had to give her a fake name for this. Plaintiff against Ghislaine. Oh wait, I was told the right way to say it the other day. Ghislaine or Ghislaine. I don't know. I sound like an idiot. Ghislaine Maxwell. Confidential. Videotaped. So there's at this point, guys, there's not gonna be much funny. There's not gonna be much that you're amused by. This is sickening shit. But if you've been with the channel for a long time, yeah, that should be better. That should be should be able to see better now. The problem is I can't enlarge it though. So I'm assuming that's better than this. Is the landscape or the portrait view? Which one's better? Portrait like this. So this is 1. We'll say this is 1, and this is 2. It's set up so that 2 should look better. Yes, she's cute. But this is number 2. But she's like the evil. She's evil. Let me get this on Twitter quick. Bang. So if you guys want to read along, just go to @pill_news, the Red Pill Dispensary. Simple enough. Pretty soon, because actually, I bought a domain, so I'm thinking about maybe, pretty soon switching back to the Red Pill News Dispensary. Because I have that, I do own that domain, so I'm thinking about switching back anyways. It better describes the channel anyway, so I don't know. Was it 1? What's better, 1 or 2? We'll go with this for now. Unless someone says the other way is better, then I'll just switch to that. Either way, it's fine with me. 2, I figured. Okay. Alright, so videotape deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, by the way, so before this came out, all that they've been doing in court up until putting this out is arguing all day, every day, over whether to let out this exact information. She's not found guilty yet, and there's a lot of arguments they can make, and they're like, they don't want the interview out. When they put her in that room under that light and interviewed her, and they interviewed her for a long time, they didn't want that out. They didn't want that getting released. But the judge decided to release it. So, good on them. I hope I guess we'll find out here if she starts naming names right away, or if that comes later. Because that's coming. You just know it is. Because I feel like her life is less in danger once she says it. As long as they know that she can use that, and start naming names of the most rich and powerful people in the world, she's a huge liability. A liability to them, their companies, their families, the things that they care about. They don't care about these little girls and boys. They could care less. I mean, they showed that 1,000 times over. And by the way, I knew this was coming. I knew it. You could just tell that Paul Revere, the Midnight Rider, 17 letter, they've been like hammering this home lately. And then when they put up the Panic in DC, the other one that I can't think of right now, and then the Guardians of the pedophiles, when they put those up, and then ever since then he's been putting out all types of like little pictures, things like things to prove to these people, hey, we're not joking when we say we have it all. By the way, they realized that this judge was so sharp. After day one, they all showed up trying to throw her curveballs, and she flew through the whole thing. I've never seen anybody like understand the law like this woman. And towards the end of the questioning, one of the Republicans said, what do you have in front of you? You don't have any notes? You're just doing this off the top of your head? She said, yep, just a blank piece of paper that says United States Senate at the top. And he was like, that is impressive. I mean, to not have to refer to notes when it comes to law, I mean, that can get, that's damn near impossible. And, a lot of these congressmen and, especially on the Judiciary Committee, on the Senate Judiciary Committee at that, they would need a bunch of notebooks. I mean, even Kavanaugh, nothing against him. I mean, anybody would need some notes. Certain things you think they're going to touch on. You got to quote the law exactly. She could quote everything exactly as it is. I mean, she must have got a perfect score on the bar. And so it went from all that, and they realized, okay, we are not going to look good trying to take this woman down or voting against this woman, because it's probably the best performance I've ever seen by someone trying to be a justice. No scandals, there's nothing. No fake scandals, no real scandals, just flawless. And there's a lot of reasons they picked her. And she'll be great for interpreting the Constitution as it is written, which is what we want, right? That's what I want. I want it to be interpreted the way it was written. I don't want people to think of our founding fathers as a bunch of idiots that figured something out that worked then, but never thought that we would, keep the basic principles of it today. I think they absolutely intended for those principles to stay, and that to be the cornerstones of this great free nation. I almost hesitate to say free because of that dumbass Woodrow Wilson in 1917. And then you get just the regular run of the mill crooks like Poppy and his son, and Clinton and his wife almost got in there, and Obama. It's just been, we've had a bad stretch, to say the least. So anyone who's proud of taking pictures with all these presidents, yeah, keep your pictures. Okay. So confidential videotape deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's something I was thinking about as well, is like think about it. You got to think about not only the times that we are in biblically, but realistically. I think that we are high alert for the rest of this month, basically the next 2 weeks, right? The rest of this month and the rest of and then the end of November. I mean the beginning of November. Because when you think about it, it's like, well, you can come out with any lie. Let's say a week before the election. Well, now that lie has to be disproven, and you can't do it in a court of law or the right way that quick. This is when you get dirt thrown around. You get that mudslinging. The only thing is, I think they're worried to get in that whole mudslinging match with Trump because he has legit mud with ammo. This stuff will stick. We'll hose the mud off. Their mud is them. It's what they've been up to. There's just so many different things that they could bring up if they wanted to. And I think they should. I can't believe that they're putting off. But I do understand. I do understand putting off some of the indictments until after. So, the big indictments until after the election. A bunch of them already happened. Ghislaine, it's already happened. The lawyer that was the FBI lawyer, Kevin Klein Smith or Kleinsfield. For the FBI, he went down. He was the one who changed that the CIA told them, hey, that's one of our guys. Speaking about Page, and he changed it to the CIA said it is not one of their guys, and then changed the date on it too. So I mean, these are some crooked people. I'd like to see Epstein sitting right next to her, but we'll go with this. I'm just a little bit. This story is one of those stories I kind of like worry, almost like. But anyway, just so you guys know, they fought really hard for this not to come out. That's what they've been fighting for this whole time, and they lost. So we got it. It literally just came out. I've been kind of going over it the past like hour and a half, 2 hours. Came out about 2 hours ago or so. All right, so there's all the lawyers. There's a whole team of lawyers. Paul G. Cassell. Look at Farmer Jaffe. Wiesing. Edwards, Fistos, and look at some of these names, huh? Those are the lawyers. Okay, the videographer. We are now on the record and recording. This begins disc number 1 in the deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell in the matter of Virginia Guthrie versus Ghislaine Maxwell in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Today is April 22nd, 2014. The time is 9:04 a.m. Interesting. Wait, 9:04. Okay, I meant to come back on that. That's kind of weird. It's an odd date if you were looking at what I was. Okay. It might just be a coincidence. This deposition is being taken at 575 Lexington Avenue in New York at the request of Sigrid McCauley of Boyes. I think he tried to go with a different name for this case. Boyes Schiller. Is his name really Boyes Schiller? All right, Boyes Schiller and Flexner. I'm not even gonna go there. The videographer is James Christie, and the court reporter is Leslie Fagan. Will counsel state their appearance and whom they represent, and then court reporter swear in Miss Maxwell. So, Miss McCauley. My name is Sigrid. Sigrid. Is it Sigrid or Sigrid? How's that name? I know the tiger, lion trainer. Sigrid and Ford or Sigrid and Ford? I can't think. Whatever. Macaulay. With my colleague Meredith Schultz. We are with Boy, Schiller, and Flexner. So you guys are the ad wizards. We represent Miss Guffrey. Oh, good. Oh, they're for the good team. Okay, okay. I take it all back. Um, Maybe it's like a tactic. Mr. Edwards, Brad Edwards. I also represent Miss Guffrey. Mr. Castle, Paul Castle. I also. Then you have Ghislaine Maxwell, confidential, represent Miss Guffrey. That's weird. So G Maxwell. Oh, that's just the header. Like well, I don't know if I should explain that, but when it comes to anything that's classified at the top, it'll say the classification. So it's probably just showing the classification. Although that's a odd way to do it, but it's confidential, so I guess it's okay. How you doing, Sylvia and Bear? Um, yeah, so G Maxwell Confidential. Represent Miss Guffrey. Mr. Pagliuca. Jeff Pagliuca and Laura Menninger on behalf of Miss Maxwell. Now here come the deep staters. Ghislaine Maxwell, called as a witness, having been duly sworn by a notary public. Hey, miss you too, bro. Good to see you. Siberian Beer. Having been duly sworn in by a notary public, was examined and testified as follows. Examination by Miss Macaulay. Question. Good morning. I'm going to explain. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Good to see you. It's been a little bit. I didn't know you grew up in Annapolis. That's awesome. So you got to, like near, obviously near, I mean, the whole thing is like a naval academy, from what I understand. Um, I almost went in the OCS candidate. They wanted me to go OCS candidate. Once I finished school, they were like, your scores are real high. Have you thought about going OCS? But that never came to fruition. Anyways, okay. Notary Public was examined and testifies as follows. Examination by Miss Macaulay. Question. Good morning. I'm going to explain some of the rules that will happen with respect to depositions. Have you ever been deposed before? I have not. What is going to happen here? We have a court reporter and a videographer. What they do is take down the words that we say, so when I ask you a question, they will record what you say in response to that. So we have to be mindful that in order for them to do their job, we can't talk over each other. Yeah, so every page is going to start G Maxwell Confidential. That's a header. Usually, the way I you have to put at the top and the bottom, but with it being just a confidential classification, I guess it's just the top. Um, Another issue you have to be wary of is that in a response, you can't give a non-verbal response. In other words, nodding a yes or no. They need to hear verbal response so they can record it on their transcript. So that's important for you to remember as we go through the day. If you forget, I will be sure to remind you. Is there anything that would prevent you from giving truthful testimony today? Answer: there is not. Well, let's start with a lie. What better way to start than with a lie? That was me speaking, by the way. Okay, question. I'm going to try not to do that because we kind of want to stick to the QA. The only reason I'm even saying question is I don't want to say that letter too many times. uh, you are not on any medications or anything that would inhibit your ability to remember or give truthful testimony? I am not. Mr. Pagliuca, could you identify the assistant in the room? Miss McCauley, this is the Emma Rosen from our... Oh, I'm sorry. This is Emma Rosen from our New York office. She is a paralegal. Q. Question. Miss Maxwell, can you please state your address for the record? Answer. Redacted. What is your date of birth? Also redacted. When did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? Mr. Pagliuca, I object to the form and foundation of the question. I believe this is confidential information. I ask anyone who is not admitted in this case be excused from the room, please. Mr. McCauley. So the response to that question would, the subject matter of this question is confidential, and I'm designating it as confidential. What's this guy's deal again? Pagliuca. As soon as I heard the name, I was like, it's probably some... So, geez, this is Jeff Pagliuca. Him, along with Laura Menninger, on behalf of Miss Maxwell. Alright, so Miss McCauley. So I'll just go. I'm gonna just do it the most simple way. QA, and I'll just go by their last name. I'm not gonna say Mr. or Miss. I might. Miss McCauley. I just want to make that clear for the record. Flipped it on him. Mr. Redwoods. So we don't delay the deposition, I will step out of the room, but I think it's important to lay the record that, and then Mr. Pagliuca cuts him off. I'm sorry. You are not admitted in this proceeding, so you are not entitled to make any record. If Miss McCauley wants to make a record, she can. Mr. Edwards, I can make a record right now. Oh my, these lawyers, I'm telling you, they're half of what's wrong with this country. It's like, lawyers are needed to a point, but it's like they have lawyered things up to a point where it's a different friggin' language. It's like the way that they go about how they speak, and it's just the way things get done. It's just all disgusting. It's all disgusting. And the craziest part is an elite like her is going to actually experience like an actual like court case with actual rights. Whereas one of us, nobodies, and I'm not saying you guys are nobodies. It's just, you know what I mean. Nobodies. It's just, we people don't know our name worldwide. Um, Mr. Pagliuca, maybe we should get the judge on the phone and talk about it. Mr. Edwards, the record will be short. This is the precise reason why Miss Guffrey wants me in this case, and I'm unable to effectively represent her at this time because I am unable to have access to the confidential informant, which includes apparently the entire deposition of Miss Maxwell. But for the sake of not further delaying this, I will be outside the room. Miss Macaulay, thank you. Answer, I would like to just wait for him to leave. Ugh. Ugh. What is this? Just her, just the fact that, like, she said that shows she's disgusting. He's representing a victim. That's why he's there. He's not like more like a prosecutor type, like Macaulay. He's there representing the victim. Yes. Can I just wait for him to leave the room? Get the fuck out of here. Wait. Oh. Ah. Oh. I hope that she does some real hard time, and the only reason she even does that, that's the thing. She's in a federal penitentiary now, but that they're watching her, they're making it so there's no way she can kill herself. There's no way another inmate's gonna be able to kill her. They're not gonna put her in jail with the type of guy that they put Epstein in the cell with. You see that guy? He looks like he looks like he eats roids for breakfast. Like the guy's huge Italian ex-cop that was convicted in a quadruple homicide. Unbelievable. And the guy's like massive, and that's where they housed with Epstein. I hope that they're smarter with her. Okay. You think that they're making money off it? You think that so I heard someone say um, they probably didn't get their money. No, I think I bet you he's making plenty of money. I mean, they could easily like raise money for the victim easily. Uh, so I would just like to wait for him to leave. Ugh, disgusting. Oh, hold on. Is there? Oh, is someone looking for my PayPal? Because I don't really put it up all the time. I have a different PayPal here. Um, yeah, I'll put it in quick, just so we can just get. If anyone, and this is good for the mods to have as well. Because I don't know if I had to make another one. They messed with mine too. I had to make another one. They messed with mine too. I had to make another one. They messed with mine too. I forget what's the layout again. Put PayPal.me. That's the correct layout, right? There's no like .com or anything. It's PayPal.me slash and then the name. So that should be it for me. If Brandy's here, I know Brandy knows for sure. But anyways, all right, I'll get back to it. So that's my PayPal. I don't normally put it in, but in case anybody wants to donate, it's been a few months since I got a donation. Oh no, I lied. No, there was a donation about a month ago, $20, and I think that you know what, I have to go back and say a thank you for that one, because I didn't notice it for a couple months, because I never expect people to donate to the Cash App, because I don't really advertise. I don't really like put the Cash App out there. I usually, if I do put anything out there, it'll be PayPal, or a model put out the PayPal. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, see, Brandy. So yeah, so yeah, that's they took away that one. They took away that one, unfortunately. Yeah, they took it. They took it away from me. So I might have like the HTTP wrong and all that. HTTP. Um, Maybe after the show, I'll try to send myself like $5, something small, and just making sure it goes through, and I'll let you know what happens then. So yeah, but this is how little, you know, my mods and I, we don't think about money. Isn't It's not about money to us, you know. But we for the first time in months, we're talking about this. I just that's not what it's about for me. I mean, it helps, and if you guys don't know, anything that you donate, I match the donation. Unless you tell me like, nope, this is for, like this is for you and your family. Unless like you say that particularly, if you don't, then I'm gonna match the donation. The next thing that I'm going after, unfortunately, has to be another laptop. It's a simple one. It's just that other one was just. I didn't really realize what a Chromebook was at the time, and now I do. It's like an iPad. It's just, um, hold on, let me see how you wrote that. Yeah, PayPal, and then I also the Cash App. I know they took it away. I went to open one time, and it never opened again. Me slash yeah. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten any donations, because I didn't even think. I made a new one, and I put it on a couple of videos. Oh no, not just red pill dispensary. So that's it. This should be it. That should be it. That should be it. Sorry to do this, guys, in the middle of this. It's just I just want to make sure, because I hate people to waste their money and it go to the wrong place. There it is. Boom. All right, so that's it. The other one got taken away. And as for Cash App, by the way, in case you're wondering in that, because this is what that other guy used. He probably was unable to. Yeah, the other guy. Now it makes sense why he used Cash App. He probably had to go to like an old video. I want to be able to thank him. So Cash App is going to be um Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Brandy. Thank you so much. Um, all right. I just want to get this straightened out. I feel bad. Everyone has to run around. Um, all right. And then there's Cash App. All right. That's it. All right. Let's go. So I just got the PayPal and the Cash App. I also have other ones, but I think that should be sufficient. If you need something different, like a Venmo or, I've got something under everything. And I also have a channel under everything. A lot of people love Venmo. That's the thing. I love Venmo. Yeah, Venmo is what I love too, but it seems like when I tried to put it out before, people weren't that interested in it. Um, so you know what I'll do? Brandy, if you still have my phone number, actually I'm pretty sure you do. Just if you want to text me after the show, I'll just send you my Venmo. I'm not saying to send me money. I'm saying so you have it. Usually, like you're very good about remembering to put that out for people. So thank you. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we'll do that, but not to send. I'm not saying to send anything. I'm just saying. Oh, what am I doing? All right, guys, ready? Let's get back to it. All right, thank you for the heads up, guys, because that reminds me. For months now, I didn't even update my mods, and I was like, wow. I was like, I'll go weeks. I'll go like a month without any donations, but they'll be like a $10 donation or something. But I haven't seen anything in months, so now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. They've been in the description sometimes, but okay. So now we have Edwards having a spat with Pagliuca, basically saying like, "I'll make a record right now." Like, he really did. I mean, there he is. And he's there basically saying, listen, I'm just here to make sure that, the interests of this little girl, or little girl at the time, I looked out for. Make sure that her interests to look out for. Um, and the piece that they all gotta get paid, how lawyers go. And, this heartless bastard was basically like, well, whatever, you're not needed. And then Maxwell goes out of her way. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, answer. I would just like, I would like to just wait for him to leave. Question. That's fine. So it's not really a question. I would just like to clarify the address. I'm in the process of selling the house. So while I still receive mail there, it's not my actual physical address. Well, I can tell you where it is, the word I've gotten. I mean, we'll hear it from their mouths, but there'll be a lot of lies. Where it is, Like we're talking like one of the most elite of the elite. We're talking like one of the 13 bloodlines type of elite. And especially like that old New England money, kind of like the Kennedys from the Cape. Well, there's that old New Hampshire money. A lot of money up in New Hampshire, especially in Bedford, New Hampshire. And that's where they found her. And he owns that house. It's not, to call it a house is ridiculous. It's a mansion. As is most of the properties in Bedford, New Hampshire. It's in the process of being sold. It still requires some final paperwork to be done. So just for the purpose of clarity. Do you have a new address where you will be living? I do not. It's kind of good. I like that question. For the purpose of the record, if there is something I ask you that you later remember something else or need to correct your testimony in some way, you can do that. Just let me know what it is, and we will go back to that question. And can you clarify? Of course. I just wanted to be clear. There is still some paperwork pending for final release, but it's in the process of sale. But I don't have another address currently. So whilst she busted out the ST. So whilst that should still be of record, that the mail could be forwarded there. So for purposes of clarity, I wanted to be clear. I appreciate that. So, Miss Maxwell, when did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? Did she think she was gonna go easy on her because she used words like whilst and just kept on going on about it? You could tell she's like, she doesn't even want to go near this. This is gonna be good. So, without the laugh, so Miss Maxwell, when did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? And of course, here comes Pagliuca. Again, I object. I'm not going to do the Italian accent like an asshole. Alright. I object to form and foundation of the question, huh? This is in no way making fun of Italians. I grew up and live in an Italian city, so love Italians, my favorite people. Anyways, but you remember those days you used to be able to joke around? Yeah, those are good days. You can answer the question. First of all, can you please clarify the question? Oh, you already can't figure out your address. You got to clarify that for 10 minutes. Let's hear her clarify. When did you first work for Epstein? Can you clarify the question? This one. I don't understand what you mean by female. Oh my god. Did she really just say that? I don't understand what you mean by female. Like, is she really like gonna get into the whole woke movement? Is that what she's doing, or is she like not understanding it in a different way? I don't understand what you mean by recruit. Please be more clear and specific about what you are suggesting. Are you a female? Is that the sex that you are? I am a female. That's what I'm referring to. A female, and I'm asking you when you first, the very first time you recruited a female to work for Mr. Epstein. Guys, I gotta say, so far, this is rich. This is rich. This is rich. Oh, there's the name. That's the name. That's the guy's name. David Weiner. I just want to say thank you. A few weeks ago when you sent the Cash App, um, me and my family really appreciated that. You didn't, but I forget how did you word it though. If you want, you can leave like a phone number. I could text you. But I wanted to say thank you to David. Thank you so much, David. That meant a lot to me. That was the name. That was the name. Um, Thank you so much. And if you could just like, if anyone who ever donates, just let me know. Like, it's for the channel or for family. If it's for the channel, I match it. Like I match it 50%, and usually I share with you what we're gonna try to add to the channel. At this point, I just want to get a cheap enough computer to get to be able to use this green screen I got, because the other computer's trash. All right, I had to do that personal thank you because I was about a month um, too late. Okay. That's what I'm referring to, a female. I'm asking you for you in the very, okay. So she really clarifies that question there. Oh, you do have the memo. All right, good. Because I don't even have that saved. So yeah, that's the same. All right, let's continue. I mean, like, how unbelievable is this woman to the way that she? Can you clarify what you mean by female and recruit? Wow. Are you a female? Is that the sex that you are? I am a female. That's what I'm referring to, a female. And I'm asking you when. Okay, so we said that. And this is how she answers. Again, I don't understand what female. I am a 54-year-old woman. I don't get it. She's trying to muddy the waters and just make this as difficult as possible. And these elite types. Okay, so again, oh, that's her. That's her. I'm not making it age. Any age of female that you recruited to work for Mr. Epstein. Oh, she might actually open up now. She's just worried about that under a certain age. Again, I was somebody who hired a number of people to work for Mr. Epstein, and hiring is one of my functions. And when is the first time you hired someone to work for? Philly, go ahead. Go. Hired someone to work for Mr. Epstein. A female? Wait. I gotta read that again. I'm sorry. And when is the first time you hired someone to work? Oh, yeah, it's better this way, too. So you guys really couldn't see. All right. And when is the first time you hired someone to work for Mr. Epstein? A female? As best as I can recollect or recollect. Recollect. Oh man, I sounded like a dummy there. Obviously, recollection. As best as I can recollect, a woman the age probably of about 40 or 50 was in some time in 1992. So it sounds like she's gonna actually like take these lies to the bank. A woman in her 40s or 50s, so the exact same age as him. I mean, any billionaire, in 40s or 50s isn't like, it's not old either. But when you're a pedophile, I mean, that's not what you're into.
All in order. Yeah, I need to do
Alright. So, I can't believe she went there. Sometime in 1992. That was the one time. A 50-year-old woman. When everybody knows, even Trump in a magazine said, yeah, he likes him a little too young for my liking. I mean, it was Trump who was the first like billionaire or whatever to really actually call out Epstein. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and called him out in the public. For all you guys that hate Trump and hate the letter 17, well, there's a lot of truth to that. And maybe you hate it because you're not following it, so you don't. It's easy to say, that's BS and all that, when you don't follow it. If you don't follow it and you haven't followed it through the years, it's not going to make as much sense to those who have. Anyways, let's continue. Again, as best as I can recollect, a woman the age probably of about 40 or 50 was in sometime in 1992. How long did you work for Mr. Epstein? I started working for him at some point in 1992, and the nature of my work relationship with him changed over time. So from around 02, 03, the work lessened considerably. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now why she's going to admit to things from the 90s, the early 90s, but not the early 2000s. I'm going to tell you right now. It's all, and they know what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She was advised by a lawyer to do it. Even without being advised by a lawyer, she'd figure out on her own to do it. Because everything that he was already tried for in Florida, which is really all like that 90s stuff, well, that's been heard in court, and that's it. He's dead. I don't believe she was charged. If she was charged, she got off, basically. So they can't even focus on the 90s stuff. They have to focus more so like early 2000s. That's a huge piece of information that's very important to understand. Hey, babe. All right, hold on. Tell mommy to come in here for a second, okay? Because we're just doing this. Look. Oh, a toy? Oh, so yeah, that's what, in case you guys are wondering, like, why is she willing to admit that, but not that? Well, this is what you're gonna see. Yeah, here it's somewhat dry. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's wet, it's okay. I don't want to. Yeah, no.
No,
You can say hi, Michelle.
Yeah,
You can't stay out of there.
But yeah, the stuff from the early 90s, you'll see her admit to. The stuff from the early 2000s, she will not admit to. Because those will be fresh charges, and they're not going to get slept under some corrupt, no offense, Florida, but a lot of corruption happens in Florida, in particular Broward County. You know, it's not going to be swept under some, corrupt, you know, rug in a courtroom in Florida. And don't get me wrong. There's corruption in the Southern District of New York, big time. They're big time anti-Trump people. But it's like if there's a big case in the country, that's where you're gonna have it prosecuted out of. Amanda, you all set? You don't want anything to say, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been waiting. All right. So basically, that's the deal with that. So you're gonna see her continuously go back to that. That's why she mentioned 92 before. Now here, I started working for him at some point in 1992. And the nature of my work relationship with him changed over time. Let me see it.
Good.
From around 2002, 2003, the work lessened considerably. See, she doesn't want to look guilty anytime after, like, basically think of it like that. Early 90s, I don't know if that falls under, what's the thing where you can't be tried twice? Double jeopardy or whatever. But, the case is done. Unfortunately, it's just the same idiot that was working in Trump's cabinet. That idiot. So he stepped down. No, she did the right thing and stepped down. But you're gonna hear her almost sound like she barely even knew him in 2002, 2003, because that's the only thing they can prosecute her for. When did you? And then all of a sudden the question because I think obviously Pagliuca knew where she was going, meaning the other lawyer, the lawyer for the the prosecutor. Can I interject for a moment if we are talking about background, Miss McCauley? I'm in the middle of a question. Let me finish it, and then can you interject? When you say 2002 to 2003.
Why don't you let me know when it's half? Because I really don't want to, like,
Hey, this is Ghislaine Maxwell. They finally, I had her whole, you don't want to hear it? The whole deposition? It's amazing so far. It's very interesting. This is the only quiet place we can be quiet in the house, in the bed. Sit in the bathroom without the baby. Maxwell, the one with Epstein. It's like Law and Order, but in real life. Alright, so she ends up getting that question. So when you say 02 to 03, that the work lessened, when did you complete working for Mr. Epstein? When was the last time you were employed by him? The last date? I believe I still was doing, and she changed doing to helping him in a very nominal way. Maybe an hour or two a year at some time between 2008 and 2009, as far as when was the last time you worked for him. So she's saying 08, 09, maybe an hour or two. I don't believe that, but okay. So now here's her attorney. So if you are going to be talking about general background, I don't need to designate that as confidential. So if you want to have them come back in, that's fine. I assume by your first question you are going into more sensitive areas. I will leave it up to you, but if this is general background, it will not be designated as confidential. It's starting to make me think.
How hard is it?
It did say that that was her attorney and it's not a judge. He seems to well then again, if she's in for questioning, it kind of makes sense. So, all right, let's see where this goes. I appreciate that. I will jump back into my other questions. So we will keep it as confidential. When you were so he just ignores her. She ignores him. When you were first employed by him in 1992, what were you hired to do? First, I was consulting. And what I did was I helped with decorating houses and in hiring staff to help run those houses. Did your duties change over the course of 1992 to 2009? Now that's the question right there that she knows she needs to avoid. I know that much. Because unless I have it backwards, no, I got it right. In the beginning, that stuff, it's like get out of jail free card, to put it simply. But the stuff that came after that court case in Florida, that's fair game. So you can see why she might be a little more forthcoming about the earlier years before the court case and not so much so after he was found guilty in Florida and went to like a club for men. Literally, he was able to leave. He was out of jail more than he was in jail, if I remember correctly. He was able to go to work every day. Like it's like these particular jails that have like, they still live like a life of luxury. It's unbelievable that those places even exist. But as long as Trump wins the second term, I think penitentiaries like that won't exist. A penitentiary is supposed to be a penitentiary, not you go to work 6 days a week, and even when you are there, it's like just a bunch of white collar crimes. They should be right in there with Gen Pop. My job entailed running the homes that he had, but much more importantly, most of the houses had construction. And so whilst in 1990, she loves that word. Whilst in 1992, there was no construction project, there was construction projects that began after that time. And I was in charge not only of hiring architects, I was also in charge of all the filings, the filings, or overseeing that, like a general contractor would. Oh, yeah, sure, because your background screams general construction. Yeah, she wears the yellow hat on the construction project. Yeah, I believe that for a second. Come on. I mean, did you think you want an actual somebody with like a lifelong, experience in construction to oversee your construction projects? Just saying. But he's dead, so I guess, he can't really say otherwise. I also helped, or is he? No, I think he's dead. I think he's dead. I also helped with hiring the architects, hiring the builders, reviewing the contracts for the builders, coordinating the building projects, coordinating how the projects would lay out, the timing of the projects, and all the various materials that they would require to run a very substantial building project. That's the nature of the job I was dealing with. Well, how that becomes what it became, I don't know. Let's see. Question. How old was the youngest female you ever hired to work for Jeffrey? And predictably so, here comes Pagliuca. Objection to the form and foundation. Question. You can answer. I have not any idea exactly of the youngest adult employee that I hired for Jeffrey. Slick. She probably should have asked that different, but slick way out of it. Because she really might not know exactly who was the youngest, Not that she would tell the truth anyway. When you say, and you know what, I do believe, innocent until proven guilty. Trust me, I believe in that big time. Because that's not exactly practice in Massachusetts, or at least it wasn't in my heyday. And it's kind of more like lock them up until they're willing to do a plea deal. Yeah. Yeah, throw them in jail first time ever in their life for a month or two. They'll make a plea deal. If they've never been there before, yeah, they'll make a deal. When you say so she says her answer to say it exact is, I have not any idea exactly of the youngest adult employee. So she snuck that in there. So now she's going to have that flipped on her. When you say adult employee, did you ever hire someone that was under the age of 18? Answer, never. One thing you gotta give her is she's bold. But then again, when you're facing what she's facing, I guess you have to be like just a bold-faced liar like that. That is bold. Before he was arrested this last time, we were able to prove it on this channel. With the resources that the SDNY have, does she think that's gonna fly? That's her deposition. Never under the age of 18. But then you know what? Later she'll get into. I bet you what'll happen is when you say employed, they weren't exactly employees. They, would just come by and do a massage once in a while. They weren't exactly employees. So, she'll use some type of way out of that one. Because that's a bold never. Wow. Question. Did you ever bring someone who was she was going to say underage, but invite someone under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's home, any of his homes? And then basically you can almost tell when they're on the money, because that's when Mr. Pagliuca weighs in. So he says, object to the form and foundation. Can you repeat the question? Did you ever invite anybody who was under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's homes? Mr. Pagliuca, same objections. I have a number of friends that have children and friends of mine. Oh, here we go. That have kids. And in the invitation of my friends and their kids, I'm sure I may have invited some of my friends' kids to come. Oh, so that's a great friend. I get that's bullshit, but yeah. Question. Anybody that is not a friend of yours? Any female under the age of 18? Did you invite them to come to Jeffrey's home? Mr. Pagliuca, objection to the form foundation. Again, as I said, I am not aware of inviting anybody other than friends of mine who have children to the house. Did you invite Virginia Guffey to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18? Object to the form and foundation. Virginia Roberts held herself out as a masseuse and invited herself to come and give a massage. My question is, did you invite Virginia Roberts when she was under the age of 18 to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home? Pagliuca, object to the form and foundation. Again, Virginia Roberts was a masseuse. I'm asking, not asking if she was a masseuse. I'm asking if you invited her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home. Answer, again, there would be no cause to have a conversation with Virginia unless she held herself out to be a masseuse. Question. I'm not asking that question. I'm asking if you invited her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18. Answer. Again, I repeat, she was a masseuse, and in the form and as my job, I was to have people who he wanted for various things, including massage. She came as a masseuse. So you invited her to his home to come give him a massage. Is that correct? Mr. Pagliuca. Object to the form and foundation misstates the witness's testimony. Again, I did not invite Virginia Roberts. She came as a masseuse. She who invited her to come as a masseuse, she just showed up at the front door? I know, right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's weird this girl just show up out of nowhere and say, hey, I'm a masseuse, and I'm underage. Object to the form and foundation. Miss Roberts held herself out. Now, what is that? What is she keeps saying that. Held herself out. Question. I'm not asking how she held herself out. I'm asking how she arrived at the home. Did you meet her and invite her to come to the home? Or how did she arrive there? Again, Pagliuca, objection to the form and foundation. They should just have like a machine in the corner after every question. Just have them repeat the same sentence. How annoying. But that's lawyering. That's what the bad guys need lawyers too. because he knows right now. Um, this prosecutor is, who I believe is a prosecutor, is zeroing in um, on what's going to make or break this case. Most likely make it. Miss Roberts held her to be a masseuse, and her mother drove her to the house. When did you first meet Virginia Roberts? I don't have a recollection of the first meeting. Do you recall meeting her at Mar-a-Lago? Like I said, I don't have a recollection of meeting Miss Roberts. So you recall Miss Roberts being brought to the home by her mother. Is that your testimony? That is my testimony. Wow. And that is the first time you met her. Like I said, I don't recall meeting her the first time. I do remember her mother bringing her to the house. So what it sounds like she's doing is she's just picking one incident of many. Because if you guys remember from those flight logs, and that's why I highly suggest anyone watching this, you want to look at those. You want to look at you want to watch part 1 and part 2. Make sure you have some time because they're like 4.5 hours each. But you can kind of fast forward and get an idea for it, and you get like the without all the legal mumbo jumbo here, you get the straight story, and it is clear, not just through her testimony, but the pictures with her and Prince Andrew, the pictures with her and Epstein, the pictures on jets, the number of times she's in the flight log. I mean, she's flown with this woman. Like, you'd think Clinton was on there a lot. Virginia Guthrie was on there, or Virginia Roberts, however you're going to call her, whatever you're going to call her. She flew more times than Clinton. And it was like usually Epstein was there, but you know who was there every single time? Maxwell. So for her to say, I remember this one time her mother drove her, I think by then they were like so close that the mother maybe did drive her once. And she just keeps going back to that one occasion where she's not lying, but it's a lie to even imply that that's all that there is to it. I highly suggest those videos. Seriously. From before he was indicted to when he was indicted to when he was killed. And I revisited the whole thing. And I do believe he was killed, by the way. I do. I can't believe it, but yeah. I do believe it. That he was killed. It's crazy. I can't believe that. Because the thing is, my source had gotten me one of the first pictures of his dead body. And you could see, it looked just like a body would if someone was strangled. Now, of course, it was a hit. But anyway, let's continue. I just think that now more than ever, those videos. You know what I'll do? In the community post, when I'm done with this, throughout the day, I'll just like I'll post a community post from back then. And then you can just click it from there. If you guys are like me, I just go straight to notifications. But if you hit home and you scroll through there, that's when you can see community posts. Or if you click on Red Pill Dispensary, you go to community and you'll see I always put stuff there. So today would be a good day to freshen people up on stuff from before he was even indicted on this the second time. And then eventually killed. Are you a member at Mar-a-Lago? No. Have you visited Mar-a-Lago? Yes. Did you visit Mar-a-Lago in the year 2000? I'm pretty sure I did. When Miss Roberts arrived at the home with her mother, what happened? I spoke to her mother outside the house, and what I don't recall is exactly what happened because I was talking to her mother and the entire she was in the house. I mean, I think she would say in the entire time she was in the house, meaning Virginia. She's trying to make it look like she was friendly with the mother, but Virginia maybe was in love with Jeffrey or something. I doubt that. Did you introduce Miss Roberts to Jeffrey Epstein? I don't recall how she actually met Mr. Epstein. As I said, I spoke to her mother the entire time outside the house. Did you walk Miss Roberts up to the upstairs location at the Palm Beach house to meet Mr. Epstein? Again, this is when you know that she just answered a question where the answer should be damning. Object to the form and foundation. You can answer. I just explained. I spent the entire time talking to Virginia's mother outside of the house, so the answer to the question is no. Again, that's what I think. I think that she is basically picking this one time where, she spent the whole time speaking to the mother only because she was trying to probably just do damage control, and the mother might have had some questions, like, oh, you guys seem real interested in my daughter. Now, I'm not going to exactly nominate her for Mother of the Year. Then again, I'm not going to diss a mother, because, you see people with this type of wealth, you just don't think that's the case, You just don't think that's the case. So Cash App works. Does PayPal not work? It should. Anyways, okay. No. Did you not walk her up and introduce her to Mr. Epstein? I just said no. Did you participate in a massage this first time when she first came to the home and you were speaking with her mother? She was in the home. Is that correct? You brought her into the home? Object to the form and foundation. Again, he's going to say the same thing. I will repeat again. I was standing outside with her mother. So very difficult for me to do anything else at that time, so no. I did not take her upstairs. Did you participate? Virginia lied 100% about absolutely everything that took place in that first meeting. She has lied repeatedly, often, and is just an awful fantasist. So she's taken the Hillary Clinton route in attacking the victim. Except these aren't grown women, although now when I think back, I realize how young Monica Lewinsky actually was. It's just at the time I was much younger, so it didn't seem so young to me. But looking back now, I realize how young she actually was. As an intern, what was she? 18, 19, maybe 20. I mean, very young. But in this situation, you have an extremely young girl, and she's gonna attack her. She's gonna attack her credibility, and I think it's gross. She has lied repeatedly, often, and is just an awful fantasist. So it seems like you're really just mad at her because she brought you down. So very difficult for anything to take place that she repeated because I was with her mother the entire time. Again, guys, I highly recommend you guys watch these other videos because before her and the lawyers sat down and decided what and what not to talk about, yeah, that should be it. That should be it. I'm pretty sure. Um, I could try after the show. I could try it, or if someone texted something right now, I could try it. I'll try to catch the next text, and not text, chat, and I'll click it and see what happens. But yeah, but I did click it before though. It should come up. It's like you'll see like an anchor. See, it's not letting me click it from here though. That's the only thing. You'll see like an anchor and like the red pill symbol. Let's say red pill dispensary. Um, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. I thought there was a okay. Yeah, I had to change it. The last one, they something happened with it. They ended up taking it down. One day it just wasn't there anymore. I'm like, what the hell? All right. So, but it's not all about money to me. That's why I just kind of like was like, whatever. I would put the new one up in description, but really I should have communicated better. Which is why I kind of like the new mod system we're gonna have. If you guys didn't see it, it's gonna be the five. It's gonna be Brandy, Tony, um, West Texas. Um, I put them all in a comment. Anyway, now isn't the time. I'll talk to you guys individually. But there's 5 main mods, and then there's other mods too. It's just you 5 have final say on thing if there's ever if you guys aren't sure how to deal with a certain situation, and I'm not paying attention, which usually I'm not. I mean, usually just kind of going over the information. So I have full trust in you guys. You guys do great. All right. So while she's really going after her, so very difficult for anything to take place that she repeated because I was with her mother the entire time. So did you give a massage with Virginia Roberts and Mr. Epstein during the first time Virginia Roberts was at the West Palm Beach house? It was correct. Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm curious what's your answer to that. Oh, of course. Pagliuca, here object to the form foundation. You know what? I'm just going to say object from now on. I don't feel like reading that 1,000 times. Unless he adds to it. Yes or no? And her answer, no. And like I said, if anyone's starting to think like, what if this girl was just making up this stuff? Well, first of all, there's many more than just this one victim. Second of all, it was clear. It's very, very clear when you watch my I'm talking before he even got arrested. They were definitely moving on him because I did those shows, and a week later, they indicted him. And then only like a month after that, they killed him. But from those videos, especially the ones before the indictment, it's damning. It's and it makes sense. Whereas a lot of the stuff that she's saying doesn't make sense. There's a lot of dodging of questions, which is natural to a point. But like I said, they're going to be focusing more so like after 2000 than before 2000 or 99, whatever year the trial was, whatever year his original trial was in Florida. That's covering one time period, so they can't get her on that stuff. But anything after that time period, they can get her on that. So she knows, you know, what to cover up, what not to cover up. There's a bunch of victims that can't be a part of this because they were part of, that first trial where they were let down by, what was his name? I forget. But he was actually in Trump's cabinet. Well, needless to say, he doesn't work there. The day that came out, he wasn't working there anymore. All right. Have you ever given a massage with Virginia Roberts in the room and Jeffrey Epstein? Object. Answer, no. Have you ever given Jeffrey Epstein a massage? Mr. Pagliuca, object. Object to the form and foundation, and I'm going to instruct you not to answer that question. I don't have any problem with you asking questions about what the subject matter of this lawsuit is, which would be, as you've termed it, sexual trafficking of Miss Roberts. To the extent that you are asking for information relating to any consensual adult interaction between my client and Mr. Epstein, I'm going to instruct her not to answer because it's not part of this litigation and it is her private and confidential information not subject to this deposition. You can instruct her not to answer, that is your right. But I will bring her back for another deposition because it is part of the subject matter of this litigation, so she should be answering these questions. This is civil litigation, deposition, and should be responsible for answering these questions. I disagree. And you understand the bounds that I put on it. No, I don't. I will continue to ask my questions, and you can continue to make your objections. Did you ever participate from the time period of 1992 to 2009? Did you ever participate in a massage with Jeffrey Epstein and another female? Now that just opened up a whole treasure trove. We're talking now not just Virginia Roberts, we're talking any female. And again, Pagliuca, objection. Do not answer that question. Again, to the extent you are asking for some sort of illegal activity as you've construed in connection with this case, I don't have any problem with you asking that question. To the extent these questions involve consensual acts between adults, frankly, they're none of your business. and I will instruct the witness not to answer. So, Mr. Colley. This case involves sexual trafficking, sexual abuse, questions about her having interactions with other females is relevant to this case. She needs to answer these questions. I'm instructing her not to answer. Then we will be back here again. See, that's what she's gonna keep going back to that. Well, we'll welcome you back. You know, we'll be right back here again. Um, all right, guys. You know what? Hold on. Just give me 1 second here. So sorry about that. All right. I just want to make sure no one's personal, you know, phone call that's on there. Okay. I'm instructing her not to answer. Oh, that's it. Yeah, she keeps going back to that because she knows that that's what they don't want. Then we'll be back here again. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? Can you repeat the question? Yes. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? No. Have you ever observed Mr. Epstein having a massage given by an individual, a female, who was under the age of 18? No. I I do not believe a word she is saying. Not a word. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, she has to defend herself and try to put up the best case she can, but I don't know, man. You gotta come up with some type of better excuse than just deny, deny, deny. I know it's what you can. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. But right here on this channel, like I keep saying, we proved so much. I'm telling you guys. You guys want to see those videos? Part one, part two, and it's the black book, the flight logs. If you saw how many times this woman was on a plane with just Virginia alone, let alone let alone a bunch of other ones, but Virginia ended up kind of like getting groomed as a younger girl who could bring in more girls. She was young, and they got her to do that. I mean, the fact that she's just like, not only not with her, but not with any female, and never, and no, it's just unbelievable, unbelievable. just think it's just bold. It's bold, and you know what? I think it's gonna do her. Whoever gave her that advice to be this. Then again, what do we expect her to say? Yes, multiple times, every weekend. So I mean, I don't know. It's just it just seems too bold for her to just say no to things, just like lying so obviously. I mean, I get it. She doesn't want to just admit it all either. I don't know. I don't know. I think whoever's giving her that advice is gonna get her a very long sentence. You know. Um, but then again, she also has an extra thing to worry about, and that's the elites who are very, very tuned into this. As soon as this got released a couple hours ago, oh, they got people reading through it. They want to see where she's at mentally, you know, um, because the second that they sense that she might flip, they're gonna try it. They're gonna try to off her. I don't think they will be successful, but they will. They'll try if they get that sense. I don't know why they wouldn't get that sense. I would get that sense for sure. But then again, it's the family business. You gotta remember how she was raised. She was raised a certain way. She was raised where they talk about like double agents, like spies that are double. She was raised by like a quadruple agent. It was like, you know, Russia, UK, America, and whatever their home, maybe Ukrainian or something. We're talking like, and that's her father, the one who turned up missing. Um, on and the last place he was seen was on his boat, which just happened to be named the Ghislaine. Yes, yep, after her, named after her. That was his favorite daughter. He sexually abused her growing up. No wonder she turned out the way she did. He sexually abused her. Now some of you guys know all this, obviously, but a lot of people don't. So I got to say this stuff. So he was he was like the Epstein of those days. He was into a lot of crazy stuff, but his area of expertise was media manipulation. Um, he was he was a real groundbreaker when it came to propaganda, media manipulation. And the thing is, he would do it for the Soviets, and then he would do it for the Americans, and then for the British. And I mean, that's who her father was. He had 1,000 publishing companies. I mean, he had so many different publishing houses that he would just basically, depending on, you have one if you're working with the Russians, one if you're working with the English, one if you're working with the Americans. Extremely dirty, and all the while, his big move and what kept him alive for so long was he kept dirt on the most powerful people on earth. I mean, it sounds like a quick way to get killed, but it's proven over and over and over to actually be a quick way to live in the lap of luxury and get away with so much. Because just like, these judges, it's the people who are ambitious enough to do the school and be part of these secret societies, and whether it be judges or politicians or actors or Hollywood, the whole Hollywood scene. Those are the type of people that, like these billionaire types especially, they require a certain level of what you or I might look at as cuckoo. You know, it's like, whoa, you're into what? And doing while you're doing what? And while that's happening, you like it when somebody does what to your what? That is weird, man. But it's almost that's almost how it goes with these people. When you have it all, what is gratifying, whether it be sexually or just gratifying in a way that makes you happy. There's so many different examples. We could go on this, but like I remember I took a class and it was abnormal psych, and there was a couple chapters actually on this, and they talk a lot about it, about people who tend to be more famous or have immense power or lots and lots of cash, which kind of makes you have power and sometimes fame. They have some of the weirdest kinks about them. Forgive the one times with the kink, but you know what I'm saying. Like they just it takes an extra little bit for them to get a thrill. Um, and they end up finding homes in these weird secret societies. I mean, just look at the Navixum cult. Navixum. I always mess that word up. You know, it was funded by the Bronfmans, and they ran a bunch of um, these these daycare centers in Mexico. You know, for obvious reasons. And it's like, well, why? Why? Like what? Like what? I don't understand. First of all, what a woman would ever want to do with a child. And as for men, what kind of man would want anything to do with? When I say child, I mean I include the 15, 16 year olds. I include that. Of course, I include that because it's like, you know, do you like get a thrill that like they're clueless and innocent? Like that's like, do you understand like the damage you're doing for the rest of your life? So you get 1 second of, oh, don't even get me going. I just, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Have you ever observed females under the age of 18 in the presence of Jeffrey Epstein at his home? Mr. Pagliuca, object. Answer. Again, I have friends that have children. I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about individuals. Mr. Pagliuca, I'm going to object to you interrupting the witness who is answering your question. The question was, have you ever seen anyone, female, under the age of 18, at the house? And that's the question, and she was answering. If you want to strike that question and ask another question, feel free, but let the witness respond, please. I will do that. Have you ever observed a female under the age of 18 at Jeffrey Epstein's home that was not a friend, a child, one of your friend's children? Again, I can't testify to that because I have no idea what you are talking about. What? I understood that. Let me read it again. Have you ever observed a female under the age of 18 at Jeffrey Epstein's home that was not a friend, a child, one of your friend's children? You know what? Actually, the question almost doesn't make sense, to be honest with you. Because the way at the end she says, a child, one of your friend's children? Like, I don't know. I guess it depends on her tone as she said it. It read right. It's just when you read it the way where they put the breaks and pauses and the the question mark, it didn't make as much sense. Again, I can't testify to that because I have no idea what you are talking about. You have no idea what I'm talking about in the sense you never observed a female under the age of 18. At Jeffrey Epstein's home that was not one of your friend's children. Is that correct? Mr. Pagliuca, object. Answer. How would I possibly know how someone is when they are at his house? You are asking me to do that. I cannot possibly testify to that. As far as I'm concerned, everyone who came to his house was an adult, professional person. Are you familiar with the police report that was issued in respect to the investigation in this matter? Mr. Pagliuca, object. Are you familiar with the police report that was used in this matter? The investigation of Jeffrey Epstein has been produced as a document in this matter. I have seen a police report. Maxwell Exhibit 1, police report, marked for identification. I gotta go in the other room. Too much noise. I don't want there to be too much background noise. I want you guys to hear everything. The police report that you have in front of you. See, sometimes they just misspeak, or it's not translate. The police report that you have in front of you. Oh, okay. See, I get it. All right. It's just how you word it, I guess. So the police report that you have in front of you. That's how you say it. Okay. Can you turn to page 28 of that report? The numbers are on the top right-hand corner. You will see some redactions in this report, Miss Maxwell. The redacted information is redacted because it reveals the name of a minor, someone who is under the age of 18. On page 28, in the third paragraph, about halfway down, it says blank. So every single redaction, or I'm just going to say blank, that's a minor. Could be the same minor name more than once, but we're talking about multiple minors, I believe. It says blank stated she performed the massage naked. At the conclusion of this massage, Epstein paid blank $200 for the massage. He explained, I know you are not comfortable. So, I don't know if that's a typo. I know you are not comfortable. Put, I will pay. So it should be, but I will pay you if you bring some girls. He told her the younger the better. Wow. That's gross. Blank stated, once tried to bring a 23-year-old to Epstein, and he stated the female was too old. Imagine that, 23. Oh, she's too old. Meanwhile, he's like 60. Ugh. He could literally like be your grandfather. Um, have you heard Mr. Epstein use the phrase "the younger the better"? Answer: I have no recollection of hearing that. Now I wonder. Now is she just 100? Is three? Is one of three things. Either by looking out for him, you in turn look out for yourself. So that's the first option. The second option is, she did know him for so long that she is somewhat looking out for him. Or three, she just wants to make it so clear to the type of people who had him taken out, which, hey, just because I think he was actually taken out doesn't mean that it happened like that. Um, Now, as far as the story of him doing it himself, yeah, right. That would be, how difficult it would be to do that in jail. It'd be way too difficult to do it. And I think that what happened was someone took him out. He ended up not having a cellmate that he had before, although that cellmate seemed to be the type that could have easily taken him out and easily, like, done it easily. That's that big Italian ex-cop with the quadruple murder. Um, so you don't want those same people coming after you. I don't know. I don't know. And then to think that he was on suicide watch because he either he claims he strangled himself, but it was no, someone tried to kill him, and then he wanted to kill himself, and I don't know. So you just, but I guess he had just gotten taken off suicide watch, but that's an awfully short suicide watch. I asked my brother this because he would know, not the suicide part, but just in general. I said, "How long is a suicide one?" He goes, "Very long, and you got to wear something called a turtle suit." So I guess it's like a thing that prevents you from. It's like wearing a bubble, um, and you're naked underneath it. So I had to get that information from him. But hold on a second. Hold on.
Wait another hour for the bus. I don't know.
It won't take that long.
The Uber will be alone.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I have no recollection of hearing that. Have you used the phrase and let me see how long. I just want to see how long it is. You know, it just sucks, man. She's such a pain. Okay, so here we go. So let me talk about the police report. Okay. So I'm just gonna straight up read from here, and that's it. All right. So no more. I'm not gonna give opinions on things. Let's just hear the facts. What you know. Let's just hear the answers to the questions and their deposition. Okay, so here's the part about the redaction, the girl, the 23-year-old. Have you used the phrase "the younger the better" in speaking to blank and asking her to recruit females for Jeffrey Epstein? Object. You can answer. It's a yes or no. No, that's absolutely not true. On the second part of your question, I have not asked Virginia to, or she just gave away with that redaction. The redaction was supposed to be Virginia. To recruit females in the first part of your question. If you can repeat that again, the question you asked. Will you read back the question? Record read. I believe I answered the latter part of the question. The first part of the question, it's impossible for me to recall events that took place 16 years ago, but it doesn't sound like something I would say. So basically, the part that she can't say no to is the younger the better. Question on page 28, that same paragraph, blank was asked, how many girls in total? She brought to Epstein, blank stated that she can remember. I think it says I can't remember. I think they're writing this real fast as they write. Blank stated that she brought, and it's redacted there, and the victim in this case. Let me ask my question. I have a question pending right now. Are you testifying that you are unaware of any underage, under the age of 18, females coming to Jeffrey Epstein's home to perform massages? Object. You need to straddle that question in a different time period. When I was there. See, this is what I meant about. She'll admit to things in the 90s, but not the 2000s. Or vice versa. But yeah. Actually, no, I got it right. The earlier the question, she'll answer that, but the later she won't. Double jeopardy, basically. I don't know if that's the correct term, but yeah. When I was there, at the time I was present, the people that gave Jeffrey, men and women who gave Jeffrey massages, were adults over the age of 18. Never in your time at any of Jeffrey Epstein's home were you present when a female under the age of 18 was there to give Jeffrey Epstein a massage. Object. First of all, as I said, when I was present, it is a yes or no. No, it is not. You can answer the question in full, but please provide yes or no as an initial matter. I cannot answer yes or no. It's not bounded by time. It's entirely possible I could have been in a room or even in the vicinity of Palm Beach when somebody came and I would not know. How would I know when somebody was in the house? There is no way I can know. Did you stay at Jeffrey Epstein's home when you were in Palm Beach? Most of the time. So how is it that you wouldn't know if there was a female in the home under the age of 18 if you were staying there? Well, first of all, when I was staying there, the house is actually quite large, and I have a very busy job, and I had an office with the door, so the door would be shut. And I would be working. I'm not responsible for what Jeffrey does, and I don't always pay attention to what happens in the house. I'm very busy. So you're testifying that you never observed a female under the age of 18 at Jeffrey Epstein's West Palm Beach home. Object. I already answered that question, I believe. You didn't answer my question. I did. Did you observe a female under the age of 18 at Jeffrey Epstein's home in Palm Beach? Like I said, I work. I don't sit there and watch people coming in and out of the house. I cannot possibly tell you if I'm in the home that somebody was there that I did not see. I cannot comment on it. I have no idea. Did you observe females at Jeffrey Epstein's home that you were laying out topless in the back of the home? In other words, without a shirt on? Did you observe females at Jeffrey Epstein that were laying out topless in the back of the home? In other words, without a shirt on. So that's just another. So that's just another of Virginia's lies. And this is answer. So that's just another of Virginia's lies. So let's be clear. At the time when I was there and present frequently at the house, it was unusual to see people without their clothes on. When you say unusual, did you observe people without their clothes on at Jeffrey Epstein's home? Can I answer? Sometimes people in the privacy of a house and swimming pool. I have seen people from time to time take their top off. I have seen people from time to time do that. Very unusual, naked people around the people at any frequent period of time I have never seen. Were they under the age of 18? As I was saying, people, when I was in the house, were of adult age. If they were children, friends of my family or friends that were there, they may well have been because I have nieces and nephews under the age of 18. I cannot testify to anything, anybody, or anything else. Just another one of Virginia's many fictitious lies and stories to make this a salacious event to get interest and press. It's absolute rubbish. You could tell she's British right there. It's absolute rubbish. Were you in charge of hiring individuals to provide massages for Jeffrey Epstein? My job included hiring many people. There were 6 homes. As I sit here, I hired assistants, I hired architects, I hired decorators, I hired cooks, I hired cleaners, I hired gardeners, I hired pool people, I hired pilots, I hired all sorts of people. In the course and a very small part of my job from time to time to find adult professional massage therapists for Jeffrey. When you say adult professional massage therapists, where did you find them massage therapists? From time to time, I would visit professional spas. I would receive a massage, and if the massage was good, I would ask that man or woman if they did home visits. Did you ever hire a masseuse that was under the age of 18? Object. Did you? Again, I don't hire a massage therapist, so that was not my job. You just said you did. You just said you hired massage therapists for Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, got it there. I'm asking if you hired a massage therapist who was under the age of 18. Let me correct myself. When I meant hire, I didn't mean hire in the way you are doing it. What I say is that I went to spas and I met people, and if they did I say she would do this? That there's a difference between hiring, whenever she gets in the weeds, she's gonna draw a distinction between actually hiring somebody and, having a girl come along. That's not really hiring them, you know? In her eyes, like, that's a type of defense she would use. I knew it. I didn't even get this far, so. Alright, there we are. What I think I meant to say is that I went to spas and I met people, and if they did home visits, Jeffrey would then, in fact, hire them. I'm not responsible for hiring someone, and they were not full time, so it's not a correct characterization. Did you ever, your term is meet, did you ever meet a person that was under the age of 18 that Jeffrey then hired as a masseuse? Object. First of all, Virginia Roberts, who you are referring to, was a masseuse age 17. We all now know, so your story that you keep pushing out to the press that she was a 15-year-old, you and I both know was a lie. Correct? You are not sentencing my question, must be answering. You and I gotta admit, she's a pretty good defendant. As far as having to answer tough questions, and she's she was coached well. You and I both know that was a lie, correct? You're not answering my question. I'm asking whether you ever met a female under the age of 18 that Jeffrey then hired as a masseuse. Object. The only person I can talk about who clearly was a massage, age 17, a masseuse, was Virginia. Did you meet her and then introduce her to Jeffrey? I don't know. I already testified I don't recall meeting her. So that's a yes. Never say when they just flat out don't recall, you know the answer. So I'm showing you a document that we have marked as Maxwell Exhibit 2. It's a document you produced in this matter labeled Confidential um, GM00109. It's dated Sunday, June 12th, 2011. It's from Jeffrey Epstein to you. If you can turn to page 4. Sorry, can you turn to the first page? The cover page initially, which is 00109. If you look under the timestamp, it says June 12th, 2011 at 4:12 p.m. It says blank. Is that your email address? It is. Under that, it says, thank you. I have it now, and I'm working on a letter. A little. I will send the final version tomorrow, and whatever it is will be factually accurate. Do you see that on page 1? I do. Then I would like you to turn to page 4, please. The second paragraph down on page 4, it states, after some thought, I recall that I first met Miss Roberts when she was working at a premier resort, which would be Mar-a-Lago, claiming to be 18 years old and a professional masseuse. What line are you on, Counsel? Second paragraph down. I got it. Is that a statement that you wrote? It appears to be. So does that correct your testimony that you did meet Miss Roberts at Mar-a-Lago? Again, this was written in, when were you saying? I even remember, 2011. Anyway, so 2011. So by 2011, Miss Roberts had already perpetrated so many lies and stories. It's hard for me to accurately tell you today what I remember back then. As I sit here today, the testimony I gave you today, I do not recollect it. Do you have a reason to say that this document that you wrote is inaccurate? It's in 2011. I can't possibly tell you what I remember in 2011. Well, the obvious follow-up would be, well, I would also think that your memory of when you first met her was 100 times better in 2011 than it is now, right? That's 9 years of aging. I think 9 years ago you were younger, sharper, and the event that we're talking about was much closer. I'd be surprised if she doesn't go there. Are you questioning that this document is incorrect? This document, this email that you wrote? I wrote an email. I was trying to be accurate, so who knows? So, wow. With all the rubbish that you guys have put out in the press that I read, maybe in the moment I wrote it, a memory came to me that I don't know. But as I sit here today, and the testimony I gave you today is I don't recollect it. Does this refresh your recollection that you recalled meeting Miss Roberts at Mar-a-Lago? It does not. So your testimony today is that you don't remember meeting Miss Roberts at Mar-a-Lago. I do not. I just want to clarify. When you read so much stuff and so much rubbish that comes out from Virginia Roberts, you don't know what's up and down. At the time I wrote this, I believe I had a memory, but as I sit here today, I do not. It sounds like now you're upset with her, and back then you were a little more fond of her, and you are so upset with her that you're going to do everything you can to trash a victim, a young victim. But would you expect anything less from a monster like this? I wouldn't. And then again, object. I have no idea when I met her. Do you know how old she was when you met her? Hey. I have no idea how old she was when I met her. Is it possible she was 13 years old when you first met her? Object, Mr. Pagliuba. And the answer We have some redacted. It's more than a name or address. It could be an address. So what was the question? Is it possible she was 13 years old when you first met her? And then you got a whole lot of redaction. Blank, but blank, blank. May have been in the house when, maybe it's her real name. May have been in the house when Jeffrey was in the house. I have no idea how old she was. I understand. And then blank again. I'm asking if blank was 13 years old when you first met her. And I guess that would be Virginia? Or are they on to someone else now? Because Virginia, she wasn't really, or that maybe they're talking about her real name? I don't know. I'm only guessing. I mean, they seem to be onto a totally different subject. Alright, so we'll go there. I'm asking if blank was 13 years old when you first met her. Answer, I have no idea. Was she under 18 when you first met her? I have no idea. Hey, where's the toothpaste? I have no idea how old she was when I first met her. Okay. Did she look like a child when you first met her? I don't remember what she looked like at the time she was in the house. How many years have you known her? I can only recall the last time I saw her. How much BS is that? She's known this girl, this young girl, all these years, and been involved with her all these years. Yet all she can recall is the last time, because that was one time when she knows that she was speaking to the mother the whole time while Virginia ran inside. And, that's the perfect time. Oh, I do remember this, but then pretend not to remember anything else at all. I just don't think I don't think it's gonna work out for her the way she hopes. It's pretty clear, and also the whole thing with the dates. I mean, she's not admitting to stuff from way back. I think that the prosecutor's a little bit surprised by that, because she basically has immunity, from what I understand, because of the stupid deal that was given to them. Anyways. I can only recall the last time I saw her. When was the first time you met her? Again, I just told you. I don't recall the first time I met her. Did blank travel with you on Jeffrey's planes? I wouldn't remember if blank was on the plane or not. Well, anyone who's watched this show knows that she was, as well as many others. Again, if you guys want to check that stuff out, it's there's part 1 and part 2, flight logs, black books. Then you got Epstein getting indicted, but those were the golden ones. I mean, there were so many people in the room those 2 nights. There was so many people in the room, and it was just ridiculous. Like, it's unbelievable. We figured out so much stuff that was never figured out otherwise, and maybe it never would have been. There were some last names in there that no matter where you look on Twitter, everywhere, it would just say unintelligible. And we figured out a bunch of those names. A bunch of trial and error and just sticking at it. And the thing is, we had so many people working on it at once. It was like a team that just had a mission. And it was just so odd because then literally a week later, he's in cuffs. So, you know, it's one of my prouder videos. Did blank travel with you on Jeffrey's planes? I wouldn't remember if. Did you ever have sex with blank? No. Did you ever observe Jeffrey having sex with blank? No. Were you aware that Jeffrey was having sexual contact with blank when she was 13 years old? Object. I would be very shocked and surprised if that were true. That was her answer. She's still protecting him. Either that or she had some part of setting it up that was so obvious and she knows that they know that it'll later be used as evidence and she would then be, connected to that rape. Were you in the house when blank was in the house in a private area with Jeffrey Epstein? Object. Can you repeat the question? Were you ever in the Palm Beach house when Jeffrey Epstein was in the house with blank? Object. He just objects to everything. I've already testified that I have met her and that she was there. I don't understand what your question is asking. So you have never seen blank. See, I think that they're actually talking about a second girl. Besides Virginia. All of a sudden, it's a lot of redactions. Object to the form and foundation. Object, of course. Is that your testimony? I already said I don't recall all the times I've seen her, and I have no memory of that. Have you ever seen blank in the house with Jeffrey Epstein? Blank. Object. Were you ever involved in an orgy with redacted? No, absolutely not. It's not the word. It's not the word I heard. Can you tell me, do you know an individual by the name of Redacted? I do. How did you meet Redacted? At some point, she was a friend of Jeffrey's, and I recall meeting her at some point. Very, very vague. She's as vague as can be. At first, I just thought she was so stupid. I'm starting to realize she's coached well, and she thinks quick. I feel like disgusting even saying anything like that even resembles a compliment. It's not a compliment. It's an observation of something disgusting. Did you hire her? First of all, I don't hire girls like that. So let's be clear. Whoa. Now she's getting you know, like that. I don't hire girls like that. I already testified to that, and I have no idea what you are referring to. I knew she'd get it. I knew she'd jump on this one. When you say girls like that, what do you mean? I hire people who are professional at the house. You are asking if I hired somebody to do what? I don't know what you were talking about. I hired people to work in the home. Now, this was a name that came up big in the flight logs, big time, by the way. I have no idea what Nadia Markano, Markanova, hold on, Markinkova was doing. I didn't hire her, and she didn't know what you are referring to. You met Nadia? We'll just say Nadia. Nadia Markanova. I testified I did. Did she work for Jeffrey Epstein? I have no idea what she did. Have you flown on planes with Nadia Markanova? I don't recollect. I don't know if I did. How many times have you flown on Jeffrey Epstein's plane? Too many. I was about to say a lot. People think Clinton, just her and Virginia were on that plane more times than Clinton alone. Um, Meaning like them two at the same time, meaning Virginia and um, you know, Ghislaine. Like as a pair, they were on more times than Bill, and he was on what 26 times. I would say they were probably on like 40, 40 to 50 times together. That's not because right after it says too many times, more than 300. I really couldn't tell you how many. More than 400. Again, I said I cannot tell you how many. A lot. Yeah, we're talking thousands, 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 thousands.
You done? You getting dressed?
hmm How many times with blank? I already testified. I have no idea. How old was blank when she first became involved with Jeffrey? I have no idea. Was she 14? Object. I have no idea. Did she look like a child the first time you met her? Object. Did she look like a child the first time you met blank?
He's still on this thing talking.
I don't know.
Oh my god, then we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We have to go. What? You're still doing it. I have no clue, but I need to know now how long you're gonna take, because then that means I need to start getting
By Uber.
It's so late. So what time?
Did she look like she was under the age of 16? I just testified. First of all, I couldn't tell you how old she was. She didn't look like a child. Leave it at that. Did you know that she was a child? Object. I just answered I did not know how old she was, and she looked like an adult. In the times that you traveled with her on Jeffrey Epstein's planes, did you ever ask her how old she was? Object. Assumed facts, not in evidence. The witness already testified she doesn't remember. You can answer that question. Did you ever ask her on the many flights you were with her, or the many times you were with her at the house? First of all, I don't know. I was on many flights with her. You are making stories up again as usual. And secondly, if I was on a flight with her, there would not be any reason why I would ask her how old she was. Maybe because you're having sex with her and with a known pedophile. There's every reason to ask her that. What a stupid thing is that. That just shows how out of touch some of these billionaires are. There wouldn't be one reason for me to ask her how old she was on this flight with this convicted pedophile, and she doesn't know it. Okay. Besides the obvious that, they were having orgies and the rest. So let's just take her on her word for that answer. There's no reason at all? Really? Convicted pedophile? Epstein? It's kind of weird how that works. Alright, so you don't recollect having any conversation with her about her age? I already testified to that. Do you know what blank was hired to do for Jeffrey? I already testified I didn't know she was hired, and I didn't know that she did anything. I don't know how to answer that question. Was, again, redacted at the house, the Palm Beach house, when you were present at that house? Object. I have no recollection of her being at the house at the same time as me. When did you first meet? Redacted. I already told you I don't recall. Do you recall anything about redacted? That she was tall and blonde. Do you recall redacted interacting with other females at the house? No, I do not. Did you arrange to get a visa for redacted to come into this country? Object. Absolutely not. Did Jeffrey arrange for a visa for redacted? You need to give me a break so I can interpose an objection. Object to the form and foundation. You can answer. What was the question? Did Jeffrey arrange for a visa for redacted? I don't know what Jeffrey did. I cannot testify what Jeffrey did. Was redacted involved in sex with Jeffrey and other girls? Object to the form and foundation. Girls under the age of 18? Same objection. I have no idea. Was redacted involved with sex with Jeffrey and girls over the age of 18? Same objection. I have no idea. Did redacted recruit other girls for sex with Jeffrey? Object. I have no idea. Do you still talk to redacted? No. And then you have a whole redacted question. I have no idea. So it's starting to get a lot more heavily redacted. Now we have another whole question redacted, and I have no idea. Are you a pilot? I am, which she is. She's actually a helicopter pilot. Um, but people like Dex seem to think there was no connection between St. Thomas and the land over at that Disney owned. Yeah, guess what? Guess what else she is besides a pilot of a helicopter? She's also a submarine pilot. So you don't see any possible way there's any connections with Disney one island over, Dex? Listen, Dex, I've learned that you're a better guy than I thought, but you shouldn't have challenged me that one time I called while you were there. Should have never done that, 'cause I don't say things unless I do my homework. You should probably give that a try. Although I gotta say, you're not as bad as I thought. I see what you write. You're not too bad. I don't mean to dig at you, but it just when I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, remember that guy said that I didn't know what I was talking about, and then try to do this whole thing only after I was off the phone about how I had to have been wrong. To which I came back with a 2-hour video proving beyond any doubt that I was actually correct. And that was before I knew she was a submarine pilot and a helicopter pilot. So just throw those two logs in the fire as well. Have you flown with redacted? I have. Have you flown with the redacted? What do you mean by flown? Have you been on planes with her? I think that means with the queen or something like the highness, or with the prince, or it says her. I don't know. I don't recall exact dates. Did you meet her with the purpose of hiring her to work for Jeffrey or having Jeffrey hire her? Object to the form. Ugh, this guy's annoying. No. What was her relationship with Jeffrey? Object. I don't know exactly the nature of her relationship, but she worked for him. What did she do? Object. At the time, she, when was with him, I believe she traveled with him and helped with his travel arrangements. Did she bring girls to the house to give massages to Jeffrey? And by the way, you know what? Let me make sure that I have a because if it just continues like this, well, let me get this in the so you guys can read along. Should have done this a long time ago, so you guys can read along. And from NPR too, so you guys can read along. I don't understand the question. What do you mean bring? Did you ever observe? Redacted. Inviting, bringing, walking anyone into the home to give a massage for Jeffrey. Object to the form and foundation. I don't recollect anything like that. Oh, this is like. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it part one right here, because I have my daughter and Amanda waiting on me to go shopping. But I put it in the chat right now. You can get You can get this. So sex acts, period. And that's the instruction, and we can take it. Oh, okay, let me read this. I thought it was just going to be the same old. Ugh, it's getting redundant. So these therapists paid. People had salaries and they were paid by the office. Did you ever pay any individual? Did you ever hand an individual cash for work they performed? Object. Can you be more specific about what you are asking me? Did you ever hand any individual who was working at the home cash as payment for something that they had performed at the home? To the best of my recollection, there were very few times where I would leave some cash for people for work performed. And what type of work was being performed where you would be doing that? If I left cash for the pool guy, I would have left potentially some cash for the gardener, potentially for exercise instructors, and sometimes for massage therapy. How much were the massage therapists paid? Object. They get paid between 100 and 200. Did it vary based on what sexual acts they performed? Object. I hadn't seen that coming. No, it varied depending how much time. Some massage therapists charge more and some charge less. Did the massage therapists that were hired to come to the home perform sexual acts for Jeffrey Epstein? Object. What are you asking me? I'm asking if the massage therapist. Are you asking me about underage girls? I'm asking in general. Did any of the massage therapists in the home? Are you asking if they were paid for sexual acts? I'm asking if they performed sexual acts. Did any of the massage therapists who were at the home perform sexual acts for Jeffrey Epstein? I don't know what you mean by sexual acts. Oh, here we go. Alright, Bill Clinton. Did any of the massage therapists who were working at the home perform sexual acts, including touching the breast, touching the vaginal area, being touched while Jeffrey is masturbating, having intercourse, any of these things? Objection. To the extent any of this is asking for you, to your knowledge of any consensual sex, that's all this guy says. He says object, and then he says the same thing, form and foundation. But then, if God forbid, she acts about like an adult having sex, which you would want to more so emphasize. To the extent of any of this asking your knowledge of any consensual sex, then I have to really strongly object. I just do not like that guy. It's just annoying. It just shows you like how blah the whole lawyer crap is. Ugh, kill me. I keep the money. I would never want to do work like that on either side. I'm not asking about consensual sex. Ooh. I'm asking whether any of these massage therapists perform sexual acts for Mr. Epstein as I have just described. I have never seen anybody have sexual intercourse with Jeffrey, ever. I'm not asking about sexual intercourse. I'm asking about any sexual act, touching of the breast. Did you ever see? Can you read back the question? Record read. I'm not addressing any questions about consensual adult sex. If you want to talk about what the subject matter, which is defamation and lying, Virginia Roberts, that you and Virginia Roberts are participating in perpetrating her lies, I'm happy to address those. I never saw any inappropriate underage activities with Jeffrey ever. I'm not asking about underage. I'm asking about whether any of the masseuses that were at the home performed sexual acts with Jeffrey Epstein. I have just answered the question. No, you haven't. I have. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. You are refusing to answer the question. Let's move on. Wow. I'm in charge of the deposition. I say when we move on and when we don't. You are here to respond to my questions. If you are refusing to answer the questions, if you are refusing to answer, the court will bring you back for another deposition to answer these questions. Do you understand that? She's not used to having people talk to her like this. You know, these billionaire types, their whole lives never had someone talk to her like that. Then her attorney, you don't need to threaten the witness. I'm not threatening her. I'm making sure the record is clear. Certainly, can you apply to have some the court may or may not have her come back again? Again, she is not answering questions that relate to adult consent, confidential sex acts, period. And that's the instruction, and we can take it up with the court. Are you aware of any sexual acts with masseuses and Jeffrey Epstein that were non consensual? No. How do you know that? All the time that I have been in the house, I have never seen, heard, nor witnessed, nor have reported to me that any activities took place, that people were in distress, either reported to me by the staff or anyone else. I base my answer based on that. Are you familiar with a person by the name of Redacted? I am. Has Redacted given a statement to police about you performing sexual acts on her? I have not heard that. Has Redacted given a Alright, so we're on part one. We're gonna get to part two here because it starts on a new thing here. So I'll be doing part two. I can give you exact time. I'll be doing that at if you give me just over 2 hours. So 8 o'clock Eastern time sharp. Although that's kind of like a tough time. Yeah, so 8 o'clock Eastern time sharp. I can do that. Um, I was thinking 9 o'clock Eastern time sharp, but I really would like to finish this all in one. It's just impossible. My family wants me to go with them. Yeah, so now I'm back at the beginning. All right. So and plus, you know what? There's only a few people in here. I'm passing out time to my family, and thank you for the people who are here. But I understand it's redundant. But there's only 4 people in here. I'm not gonna have my family upset with me. So I didn't even realize it was that little people. All right, but thank you for the people who are here. I know West Texas. Thank you. It's the people who are there. I really appreciate it. This is the Red Pill Dispensary, and I'll be reporting back for part two. Where it'll be more in part two than just reading the deposition. I'll actually be showing you some new stuff that's come out as far as articles as well as pictures. So if you want to stay tuned for that. And it's like, honestly, I have so much ready that to drop that the whole thing is you can only make 3 videos in a day. And I already wasted one. I went to go live and I forgot to hit the certain button. So I don't know. It'll have to be like 5:30 in the morning tomorrow before I do the next video after the video tonight. You know what I mean? I'm due for one more video, is what I'm saying. And then the next one can't be. You can only do 3 videos, or people don't get the they won't get a notification. All right, so this is the red pill dispensary, and just like we took Epstein and we nailed him down until he couldn't move, and then he was indicted only a week later, and then killed about a month later. Well, we're gonna get this woman too, with facts. I want to follow the facts. So far, she seems quite defiant. I don't think she's used to being talked to like this. And West Texas, I will do that, big time. And it's easier. It's easier with you because I can say like, oh yeah, remember, and then show her the winter hat because now it's getting around that weather now, where some of those things she could still wear. So thank you for everybody who stopped by tonight. I'm happy that I straightened out the whole thing with the ways to donate with the mods, because my mind hasn't been on money. It's been on getting out good shows, and I think it's shown. This show, it's redundant. It's court. We're reading what the plaintiff says, and what the plaintiff's lawyer said. The prosecutor and the defendant, and all the defendant says is the same exact thing. Objection. Just says the same 2 words. It's a tough read, but it was just starting to get good, and then they started redacting like crazy. So let's see what part 2 brings. It's the red pill news dispensary. So